guys, what's going on? SE Rocks here with you once again with the Doc.
The Doc.
MD over here. Going to do a new vidcast on finishers, wrestling finishers.
Scorpion wins.
Wrestling finishers. Been talking about it for a long time. We had some disagreements on a lot of these things, so we figured we'd record something. We're in the swamps here at Gladwin, as you can see by the foliage in the back, so don't mind the dogs and the birds in the background. Nice change of scenery. First, we're going to start off with what makes a good finisher. What do you think makes a good wrestling finisher?
I think something that looks legit. Back in the day, these were staged contests, so, you know, it might have, like, way back, it might have just been a punch to the face or a knee to the head or something like that. And I think it just needs to look legit, like it will happen in a real fight.
Yeah, I know your big thing is a real fight.
That's why.
I completely agree with the legit thing. I think it needs to look like it's going to knock somebody out for the count of 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
But as far as a legit fight, 85% of what wrestling isn't going to happen in a legit fight. So I
understand
think that you can use that as an
well,
reason.
if you go way back in like the you know, in the beginning of wrestling, it was put off more as a real contest, not a
yeah, but times change.
Yeah,
and later on we'll get into that. The times have changed, and it's more of an entertainment based thing now. But I completely agree that it should look legit. Like the Big Show's weapon of mass destruction or whatever, I could legit. It doesn't look devastating, but
that knockout punch
it would knock somebody out because he's so big. So it may seem weak, but it's something that in a legit fight would probably take somebody out.
Yeah, I was watching Raw last week, and he threw one on Vidcast.
That was stiff. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that was really stiff too.
Beautiful.
It looked like it would have legit knocked him out.
Yeah, and Cass sold it like $1 million, I thought.
Right. I also think that it's something that should be able to like come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like I hate RKO out of nowhere, but it's something that I guess could be pulled out. It's not something that has to be set up. There's finishers that have to be set up, and in a real fight, a guy's not going to just like, you know, bend over and say, hey, go ahead and do this to me. So I have an issue with those kind of finishers. I'd rather see something that's quick.
Give me a pop-up power bomb.
I think that's weak too.
That's what I was going with.
Yeah, it can come out of nowhere. Like I like the fact that like you could expect a clothesline or whatever, but he finishes them. But it's a weak move. Like Edge is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, but him using the spear as a finisher, I don't see that taking anybody out really.
No, spear's a weak one.
It depends on who it is, because I mean, if I was to spear you, I think it would knock the air out of you. You see what I'm saying? Like it's and in that case, like if Edge used the spear against say Rey Mysterio, okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
I'll go with.
But if Edge spears John Cena, I don't see it.
Yeah, anybody to his size or bigger, I don't think would.
Right.
But if it's Big Show throwing it on Edge, because Big Show is like the biggest guy. But
right, exactly.
Yeah. Or Batista had a pretty good one too, besides his sit-out powerbomb. But
yeah, I completely agree. And I also think it's something that shouldn't be used all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If it's overused, especially when it's kicked out of. As soon as somebody kicks out of a finisher and it's not protected, I don't care who kicks out of it. It's worthless at that point. Is how I feel.
Yeah. Some moves you can, some moves you can't.
As far as like kicking out of.
Yeah. Because it's hard to explain, but some moves should be protected. Like maybe an RKO out of nowhere.
Right.
But like a spear, that doesn't really need to be protected.
It's all dependent, I think, on how often it's used.
Yeah.
Like if Edge was to use the spear, say twice a year at SummerSlam and WrestleMania, then protect it. But if he's using it every single match, I think there should be not multiple finishers, but multiple moves they could use to finish something.
Yeah, Jericho was a great example of that. He had, 3 finishing moves?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Walls of Jericho, the code breaker, and he was doing. Slips my mind right now, but he was doing something else before his last little run here. But
I can't remember what it was either.
But
he's the example I would use.
Yeah,
too.
you got to have a couple more that are that you can use in a contest. Like if the guy keeps blocking the lion salt, then you go for the code breaker or something.
Right.
Or
yeah, maybe that was that it. The lion salt was that the other finisher? Or no,
I think I said moon salt, lion salt.
You said the walls of Jericho.
The walls of Jericho. I guess I did, but yeah,
and
even a moon salt. But we'll go back to
at this point in sports entertainment, I don't think there really are any finishers. Everybody is constantly kicking out of everything, and it makes it less exciting for me because you see the guy like you see. We'll use the RKO for example, whatever. Somebody will kick out of the RKO. He'll kick out of 2 RKOs. Then what is it? Completely loses its luster. It's not a finisher anymore. Yeah. It's just another move. Like I was listening to somebody talk about Randy Orton, and they said how devastating that rope DDT he did.
Yeah, he can make that look great.
It's a great move, but he overuses it now. Yeah. Like you see the setup, and you're like, okay, that's gonna happen, and it's not. It could have been used as a finisher at some point. Like, okay, finish the guy off a couple times, so he could use that as his finisher. I guess that leads to finishers being overused too.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody at this point who has a protected finisher.
Right now, I think Randy Orton's RKO is about it.
I can't think of anybody.
They bill it up to it only takes one, and he's been hitting.
I'm sure there's been somebody who's kicked out. Like I'm sure Cena kicked out of it at some point. But I can't think of anybody recently.
Within like the last probably year.
Yeah, even Lesnar's F5, people are kicking out of.
Yeah.
Did anybody kick out of Goldberg's spear before that last match with Lesnar?
No, because that's all he had.
I'm not gonna argue with you about.
No, Goldberg. I didn't mean it as all he had move wise, but that's all. The only matches he had in his last run was with Lesnar.
Yeah, he didn't work. He worked Owens, didn't he?
No, I don't think he worked anybody.
Yeah, he squashed Owens for the title.
Did he?
That's how he got the title.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, and it was just a spear.
So then probably not.
But I can't think of anybody else.
So that one slipped my mind when he worked Owens.
Right. Yeah. No, it was. I think the only reason I remember is because I seen a picture earlier. I think the last one that was really protected, but ended. It hasn't been protected in a while. Was the Tombstone.
Yeah.
I mean, Taker did a good job at protecting his finisher, but he had a lot of pull too. I don't think it's the fact that the workers don't want to protect their finishes. They're at the
mercy of the bookers.
Yeah,
or promoters.
BKM is saying no. Like the Styles Clash should have been protected.
Yeah.
They put it off like his first 3 months. He wouldn't even do it. He teased it, and then he did it, and I think it finished maybe 1 or 2 guys, and then he worked Cena, and he kicked out, and they kicked out of it constantly. Yeah. That's the only legit finisher that looks really damaging I can think of off the top of my head. Can you think of anything?
Nakamura hit that what is it, the Sash that knee kick on Cena and finished him. That was only one.
Yeah, but do you see that as something that would legit?
If you get
a knee to the face,
not so much in the chest, but up in the head, yeah. And you could probably make it look good in the head.
But if you're using that logic, though, then the Insaguri's a kick to the head too. I mean, is that?
Well, the foot's not as hard as a knee.
Agreed. Yeah.
So yeah,
I just can't think of anything besides Styles that's working right now in the major leagues that is.
I don't think so either.
Something that should have been protected at least because it looks devastating. Now, if Owens was able to use the package pile driver, that should be protected.
But I don't think you can use a pile driver at all.
You can't. But I think on the moves like that are banned, I'd like to see him pulled out at maybe once a year. Pull it out, not even at SummerSlam or whatever, but pull it out at one of those under pay-per-views that. People might not be tuning into, and then you're going to get the buzz oh man, Owens hit that package pile driver. Now I got to watch to see if he does it again.
Yeah, that was that goes along the line of when Styles won the title at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
you don't know what's going to happen
at the house show. Yeah,
it seems
I still don't know what happened. Do you know why he dropped it at the house show and then won it right back?
Switch it up, I think.
I thought I read something about I can't remember what I read. I don't know.
I remember. It's because they had too many. Was reported that they had too many foreign champions, and they wanted
They consider Owens a foreign champion.
Well, he's Canadian.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I didn't read that one.
Yeah, I read that somewhere, but because Mahal was a... They had another one, I can't remember. Oh, I think that Sheamus and...
Yeah, see, I didn't
Cesaro
read that. That's far-fetched. That isn't the one I heard.
Oh, yeah, that's what I
that one
read about, but that's ridiculous. Who cares?
All right, here's something that we argue with quite a bit on. Using someone's finisher on them, and why it should not work.
Because it's just dumb.
Well, let's give him an example. Like, okay, say Dolph Ziggler, whose finisher somewhat... I don't know, he doesn't use it as finisher anymore, so I can't use that as an example.
Use the Undertaker.
Okay, Undertaker versus Kane, say. That's not a good example either, though, because they're both...
It's Undertaker versus anybody.
Okay, Undertaker versus somebody of his size, though. I want to keep it somewhat
RKO.
even. Versus Randy Orton, okay. Undertaker's moves the Tombstone. Say Randy Orton uses the Tombstone on Undertaker. I still don't like this example, but...
well,
should Undertaker be able to kick out of that Tombstone because it's his finishing move or not?
Yes.
That's an example. He should be able to kick out of it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's right. That's what you say. Why?
Yes.
Give the reasoning behind that.
Because the owner of said move should be immune to that. He's the only one that can throw that move the way it's supposed to be thrown. Jake's DDT. Jake's the only one that could throw that DDT properly.
I completely agree with that. 80s too. And that's I should have brought that up back. His DDT was protected.
Yeah.
And hardly anybody uses a DT as good as Ziggler has a good DDT.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to this.
But yeah, I think the only person that can throw the said move, Tombstone, pop-up pile driver, super kicks junk now, but
What the hell's a pop-up pile driver?
did I say pile driver? Power bomb, my mistake. But Styles Clash.
Okay.
If those people are using said moves against,
But what if you have two guys whose take Dolph Ziggler, say his finisher was still the super kick against HBK. HBK's the legend, the originator of the super kick or whatever. Is he going to be able to kick out of Ziggler's? Because in logic, Ziggler's a little bit bigger than Michaels.
yeah,
That kick, I could see if it was booked, HBK would kick out of it, just because he's the originator.
probably, yeah.
That's how I would see that happening.
I guess that would be the determining factor. Who's been there longer? I know that sounds kind of weird from my end, but
I don't know. My whole thing is, I don't know. I disagree with the fact that it should never be kicked out of.
yeah,
Just because I think it should be along the line. The storyline should be part of it. Like,
yeah.
is this guy that's going to use his finisher, is that like part of the storyline? Is it being built up to the fact that he thinks he's better and he can do this finisher better? Size, I think, should be a difference in it.
Yeah, I guess there's exceptions, but for the most part, I don't really like it.
It doesn't happen that often to where
I don't think it's happened ever in a long time.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of any
No,
offhand. But I know we constantly argue about this, whether
Yeah.
it's joking or not.
Mostly it's not.
Right? I'm trying to think of one recently. And all I keep thinking about is Undertaker versus Kane, because that's the big one, and that was years ago.
Yeah, but some of those guys have different... Like, Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy are a good example.
How so?
Because they both use the twist of fate, but you don't see Matt Hardy doing a swanton bomb.
Okay.
Jeff Hardy's more got the swanton bomb.
Right,
Matt Hardy's got the kind of twist of fate or the side effect.
right.
It's kind of...
But I don't see where you're going with
I
it.
don't know. I had something going there and then I lost
So are you
it.
saying if it was like Matt versus Jeff, they both should kick out of it, neither of them should kick out of it? Like,
I don't. I had a train of thought and then I completely...
because
lost
in that
it.
case, I would say if Matt hit it, Matt should win, just because of the size difference.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like he would legit win with that move.
Probably.
I don't know. We
I don't
probably
know.
should have
That
made
whole-
more
that whole-
topic points, because
That whole argument would just
I
suck.
figured, yeah, I know. I figured like we had a lot better stuff on that one. That's what we were going off of.
Yeah.
Finishers not being finishers. All right, I think we kind of covered that already,
Yeah.
I guess. tag team finishers. Are there any tag team finishers, past or present, that still stand out to you?
Yeah, well, the Steiners have that, where Rick Steiner got him up on his shoulders, and was that the Steiners or was that LOD?
That was LOD, where he clotheslined him off the top. Yeah,
I thought that was good.
Doomsday, I think it was called.
I think
like
the
that.
Briscoes use a Doomsday device. It's pretty much the same deal.
Oh,
But
I thought that's what it was called.
Demolitions, he got him like in a backbreaker type and
elbow.
got him with the elbow. I love
Demolitions
that. That was
great.
good.
Yeah, I love tag team finishers that actually utilize both.
Yeah.
I really like the Vaudevillains. I thought their
Yeah.
tag team finisher was good. It looked legit.
Oh, another one is the Eliminators. They did a high-low kick. A guy would come. I think it was
Sweep the feet?
Yeah, I think it was Saturn come and sweep his legs.
I think somebody else does that.
Why
too now.
Cronus would kick
Yeah.
him up in the shoulder and
That was a good one. I think somebody else uses that now, maybe in our.
Yeah, that was great.
What about recent? Well, who do I got for?
Well,
What was the Rockers' finisher? Theirs wasn't.
See, I was trying to think of that.
I don't think theirs was very memorable. Was it something off the top? Did they both jump
I'm
from
sure.
the top and splash or something? I think that's what it was.
I don't know. We don't really have tag teams nowadays, so.
Yeah, right. Past tag teams. The Brain Busters didn't utilize both people though, so I don't really consider that a tag team move.
A Brainbuster, what a great finisher.
It is a good finisher. Are you being sarcastic?
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
Love
that.
it.
That's a
I
good
love
one.
I love when somebody can execute a perfect Brainbuster
Yeah.
and make it look just totally nasty.
Kendrick used to be when he was allowed to do them. Brian
Kendrick
was really good.
I just seen one the other day and I can't remember who did it, but it was I think it was on Impact. Somebody did it.
A Brainbuster.
Yeah, GFW, TNA Anthem,
Yeah.
whatever the hell you want to call it now. But yeah, it looked phenomenal.
The only one I can think of past is Legion of Doom. Theirs was decent.
80s were the last time they had any real tag teams.
Yeah. What do Sheamus and Cesaro use?
I'm so drawing a blank today. I
too.
can't remember anything right now.
Should have made more notes.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the Usos have a decent one. I can't remember what theirs is, but they're really good. Speaking of Usos, right now we're talking about tag teams real quick. What do you think of the Usos heel run? I know you used to not be a huge Usos fan.
Yeah,
Really?
they're not that good.
Ridiculous. I think the Usos are probably the best tag team besides Sheamus and Cesaro that WWE has had in a long time. Because they're a legit tag team. They're not just two guys like Breezango. Breezango are very entertaining, but they're not a tag team.
Yeah, there's two guys. Well,
That's all WWE does anymore. Is just take two guys and they have
Throw 'em
nothing
together,
for and
yeah.
throw them together. I'm sick of that. Our tag team finisher thing was kind of a flop. Let's see. False finishes and kick out finishes. That goes back to guys kicking out of finishers all the time. It's way too overused.
It's a terrible trend right
Yeah.
now.
All right, what do you think's the best finisher now? WWE, ROH, Anthem, whatever.
I still like a good old-fashioned DDT, pile drivers. I know.
Yeah, but does anybody use that right now?
No, I'm kind of reading off your
Yeah,
notes
quit
there,
taking
but,
my notes.
Styles calf crusher, calf killer. I love that.
Really
I love
good,
the
yeah.
setup for it.
Yep. That goes to mine for now is Styles Clash.
Yeah.
I think that's the best
I
finish
think-
they have now.
I think I like the calf crusher better than the Styles Clash, even though Clash is kind of a cool move.
The Clash takes more to set up. The Calf Crusher he can kind of pull out of nowhere, so
Yeah.
it makes a lot more sense. I can't think of any.
Shooting Star. I've always thought the Shooting Star was
Yeah.
really nice. 450s.
I like
Really nice.
Briscoe's pile driver.
Yeah.
Any pile driver that goes back to my best finisher ever. A pile driver is one because nobody's kicking out of a pile driver. Lawler's pile driver was amazing. That's why I like the Briscoes using pile driver. DDT, like you said, after you read my notes, DDT was one of the past that you drop somebody on their head, they're going to be out. They're not kicking up from that. It's sad that like the DDT was never utilized to the point. I think
It's kind of bastardized, like the super kick nowadays.
now, yeah. But I was more like towards like you had Hogan dropping a leg on a guy.
Yeah.
Come on, you got Jake doing a DDT. The guy's
Yeah, but-
out. You got Hogan dropping a leg.
Hogan used the big boot. set that move up though. So after the leg drop,
I'm trying to think of finishers from the 8, like Warrior Splash. That's
that
not
was dreadful.
Not gonna. And Warrior's like my favorite wrestler of all time. And no, sorry, bud, you ain't gonna get it.
Dexterity.
What else was there that was terrible in the 80s?
Honky Tonk's Hippie Hippie Shake.
Yeah, that.
Or no, was it Hippie Hippie Shake?
I don't
no,
know
it was the
Hippie Hippie Shake was Eric Freedom's finisher.
It was the it was terrible.
I don't know. The only one, like DDT, was the best one I could think of from the 80s and the pile driver. Submissions versus other moves. Like, would you rather see a guy? I'm pretty sure I remember you saying recently that you didn't like submissions.
It depends on what submission it is. I don't know.
Would you rather see a guy have a finishing move as a submission or
if it's a good submission?
Like what? What do you consider a good submission move?
Like the calf crusher, I think is excellent.
Right.
Like you can really.
What do you think about the Walls of Jericho?
Walls of Jericho, if it's done more like kind of
like Lion Tamer days where he would
like angled instead of like a Boston Crab.
Exactly, that's how I feel about that one too.
The Boston Crab is kind of terrible.
It does hurt, but it's not super hard to get out of.
Yeah.
That's my issue with it.
The Texas Cloverleaf I like. Sharpshooter.
Sharpshooter,
kind of in the same vein there.
Yep. I love the Texas Cloverleaf too. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, Sheamus has kind of been using that a little bit, but
oh Jesus, cattle demulator, decapitator. What Bryan Danielson used to use on the indies.
Cattle mutilation.
Yeah, whatever that was. I can't remember what he called it, but I really like that one too. It just looked good, like torquing on the guy. And that's another thing. If you're gonna put a submission on a guy, please torque it. Please put it on like it's gonna hurt. When John Cena uses the STF, it is terrible. He doesn't even. There's no pressure. You can see the gap.
Yeah, I've seen some good ones. I've seen some bad ones from him. Mostly bad, but
they're all bad. I can't. And I'm not hating on John Cena. Respect to the man, but if you're gonna use that, please lock it in. I think Neville. Does Neville use it?
No, he uses it. Rings of Saturn. His is kind of cool.
There's somebody that's using the STF on the cruiserweights.
Is there?
Maybe it was Aries. I don't know.
He uses the.
Somebody was using it.
He uses that other one where it's kind of like he does like this and pulls them back.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Those look good too.
Yeah.
There's somebody that's using it and you can see the veins popping out and he's actually got it in.
Yeah, you gotta torque it a little bit.
I hate it when I see John Cena use that because it's just terrible. But you're just saying
put some effort in it.
Who did you just say we were talking about? Not Aries, the other guy. Neville.
Neville?
Yeah, like everything Neville does is intense. I love Neville. His intensity is phenomenal.
Yeah, his heel runs.
The thing is if you're gonna use a submission, lock it in, make it look real. I don't know why Cena don't. I really don't. I mean, it's not like the guys are saying no, don't put a little pressure on. I don't.
Maybe they are.
I can't imagine they do. I don't know. I just.
Yeah, it seems like all those guys would want to make it look good.
Yeah, because they do with everybody else. I mean, I don't know if that just. His STF is terrible. I hate it when there's a finisher and the guy does not look like he's wrenching on the guy. You don't have to hurt the guy, but you can make it look real. That is my issue with
the reverse of that.
finishers.
I hate when guys don't sell it enough. Whether you're really torquing on it or not, you need to sell the shit out of it.
I agree somewhat. Like if I'm working Cena and Cena puts that STF on me, I'm not gonna. If he's not gonna make it look real, why should I make it look like it's killing me?
I don't know.
I mean, I know you should. You're supposed to, but God, for God's sakes, make it look real. Ooh,
yeah.
I could just
torque shit out of it.
You don't even have to, like I could put my hands around you and make it look real without hurting you.
Yeah.
It's not hard. I would love to be like, hey, why can't you lock that in? Just can you explain that to me, please? Why don't you make that look real? Oh, I was just gonna hit something else on that too. Yeah. Oh, it was gonna be more against Cena, I guess. Calling spots. Cover your mouth when you're calling spots, man. Please. That is another one of my pet peeves. I understand the cameras are up close and stuff now, and you can hear everything. But when you're just blatantly being like, okay, kick me in the gut. Come on.
It's supposed to be an athletic contest, not looking like two guys are working together.
Yeah, that's
to perform a goddamn.
And that's and it's not even right, flip-de-doos.
Yeah.
And it's not even like me being a stupid smart mark or whatever. Like, oh, did you see him call a spot? If you know anything about wrestling, you know when they're calling spots. You know when they're on the ground and they're covering. You know they're calling. But he blatantly just does not even try. Like, they'll be on the top rope and he'll like yell.
Reminds me of the Sandman.
Exactly. Sid Vicious. Figure for me.
Well, I think that was just. I don't know if that was necessarily Sid Vicious's fault, but it was.
He did it all the time.
Well, I just remember that one particular match.
No, he was bad at calling them out loud too.
Was it War Games that he had with Brian Pillman, where he almost killed him?
Yeah, that's just another one of my pet peeves. I hate hearing guys call spots.
Yeah, I can suspend my. We watch pro wrestling. We can suspend our disbelief.
That's going to come down on this next part here too. So that's
suspending our disbelief.
I'm going to question your suspending of disbelief. But I know what you're saying is that we're there to be entertained, like watching a movie.
Yeah.
You know, Bruce Willis isn't stopping this bomber guy, but you watch it because you want to be entertained.
Yeah.
And they make it look real. And when you got John Cena, he said kick me in the gut here like a couple weeks ago. It might have been at the pay-per-view, and it was just blatant. I was like, and it's constant with him. I mean, everybody okay. Anyways, moving on. Another pet peeve that we have, I think. The doc has a huge issue with this one. Guys wearing their titles, like actually
guys
wearing the
girls,
strap.
Yeah.
Athletes wearing the titles around their waist. It just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, just you're the world champion. Wear the damn belt and act like it.
Yeah. Before this, we were trying to figure out who has done it lately.
And Alexa Bliss, I think, is the only one doing it right now. That, to my recollection, I could be off. And Sheamus and Cesaro.
Yep.
Everybody's either got it over their shoulder or just carrying it in their hand.
I had a huge issue with Roman Reigns' title run. Yeah. I think it was his actual.
I don't think he ever wore the belt.
He would wear it backward. Who did that? Damn it! Now I'm confused.
Were you doing the spinning deal?
No, he wouldn't even spin it. He just wore it backwards, and it pissed me off.
Really?
I think it was Reigns.
Anybody who was doing that.
But yeah, he wouldn't spin it around or nothing. He would just wear it backwards, and that's disrespectful to me. Like, you're the world champion and you're not going to show it off?
Yeah.
Is that where you're at with it? Like, you think it's...
Yeah, it's
need to show it off? Like,
yeah, you're the champion. You should conduct yourself as a champion.
Right.
Wear the belt.
I can see guys like Owens, maybe it don't fit. Like, okay, you're not going to wear it.
Get a little extra strappies on there. I don't think it's that hard.
I think that's, like, more the company's issue than
Jesus.
It is and I don't know, maybe they're telling the guys don't wear the titles anymore.
Maybe, but that just seems.
I'm in agreement, so I think you should
ridiculous.
Wear it. I don't know when it started that they stopped wearing them, but you never see.
I think a lot of guys. I shouldn't say a lot of guys. Stone Cold and Rock, I think, kind of started that. I don't ever remember.
Stone Cold always had it over his shoulder.
Yeah, and Rock always carried it. I didn't like it then either.
Yeah.
When I go back, I kind of miss that area of wrestling, but. When I go back and watch it and I see Rock kind of just throwing it up like that.
Yeah. But God, I want to say Reigns was the one that just, like, pissed on it. Like, he would just throw it in the ring. I'm pretty sure that was him. I know it was recently.
Yeah.
And it really irritated me that I understand it's just a prop or whatever, but when that's what's supposed to get you over.
Yeah. You're not real big into Japanese wrestling, but there is one guy that I kind of let allow it because it was for storyline purposes, was Naito. And I think if you actually watch Naito from when he birthed this new Tranquilo in the LIJ
Yeah, you're speaking
crew,
gibberish to me. Get your
I know.
point. What was the storyline and why wouldn't he wear it?
Originally he got shit on by the fans, like legit. So the company sent him to Mexico I don't know why the hell they sent him to Mexico, but he come back and he was pissed off at everybody. So when he actually won the championship, he would kind of throw it in the ring.
Right.
Or kick it down the ramp.
Okay.
Yes, it's disrespectable, but for storyline purposes,
right,
I think that's okay.
Yeah, I can understand that in that case, yeah.
But
I mean, when
it's more of a screw you to the fans and the company, which I think is a little bit different.
Yeah, it's totally different than just not
wearing the belt.
Just like it's a toy, you're just fucking whatever, you know. That's
it
devalues it.
It looked like I think when Tanahashi finally won it back from Naito not too long ago, it was looking like the big winged eagle belt by the time he got it. The damn, I can't even talk. IWGP Intercontinental, I believe it was, but
Right. I was gonna say something about.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go on to the whole Logic thing right now, I guess. And there was a big thing recently, about a month and a half ago or so, where Joey Ryan, who is his gimmick, remember it's his gimmick, flipped Mick Foley with his pecker. Like, that's his big shtick, is his pecker's powerful or whatever. His junk, is that what he calls it?
No, it's
You're
his
saying
junk.
it's junk? It is his junk, literally. And he flipped Mick Foley. Completely against it right here, just because he listens to Pritchard or whatever. I don't know what his deal with it is.
Because I listened to a couple of
that's all he does is listen to podcasts. No. That's all he does, and then he just takes other people's opinions.
I only got it. No, I don't.
Uses theirs. But my feeling is it's entertainment. You're there to be entertained. Like he said, your disbelief, your
suspension
of belief.
Yeah.
It's no different here, I don't think. That's his gimmick. He's trying to be entertaining. People like it. People like it and people hate it. So he's doing his job.
I don't think so. It's just ridiculous.
It's supposed to be ridiculous, though. It's not. He's not being serious. Like, I could understand if it was a serious gimmick and like he's doing it, but he's not. Like, it's like Santino using the Cobra. You see what I'm saying? You didn't have an issue with that, and that was a comedian type gimmick.
If you get somebody in the right spot,
get out of here with that. I mean, I can understand that you're actually hitting the guy in this.
Yeah.
But as far as that goes,
he's supposed to be pulsing energy through his penis.
And that's why it's funny.
I think that's ridiculous.
Like, it's not supposed to be serious. And the fact that Mick Foley agreed to it, I think shows that he understands it more than anybody else does.
I think he's just too nice of a guy.
He wouldn't have agreed to it if...
I think he would have.
He didn't think it was... That's just ludicrous to think that.
I think he's just too nice of a guy to say no. There was probably bigger guys he could have on that show that were more capable that he could have put over.
Who, Mick Foley?
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying he had to have agreed to this. Like,
yeah,
he thought it was... I haven't seen his thoughts on it. I'm sure he has said something on Facebook or Twitter, probably
ludicrous,
saying it's good. But that comes back to, like, you're fine with the Undertaker getting power from an urn, but you have issues with this.
Yes.
How? If you're willing to... No, why, though? You don't have any reasoning.
It just looks dumb. I had something...
So does getting power from an urn.
It goes back to me losing my whole train of thought today, but...
It's entertainment to me. If it's entertaining, whether I like it or not, if it's doing its job, I'm fine with it. It doesn't have to be real, because it's not. There's so many... I'm trying to come up with something besides the Undertaker that...
How was... well, I guess that's not such a good example. I was thinking of Vince McMahon's God Angle.
That's not even in comparison. That was stupid.
I still think that's kind of the same deal, Bo.
No, it's not. It's completely... That was... Yeah, you can't use McMahon as a reference point. I'm trying to think of something else besides the urn that... It's just completely out there, but we accepted it as fans.
I don't know. I seen another one. It was like some stupid 6-man tag where guys were sticking each other's thumb up their butt.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You know, one of the greatest Japanese wrestlers was in this match.
That's just ridiculous.
Was Liger.
That's not even...
It was Jushin Thunder Liger.
If it's pushing a storyline or it's...
No, they had a 6-man train of guys with thumbs up their asses, and then they all did a bump at the end. Okay, they all did a flip bump.
That is ludicrous. That is ridiculous. But if it is a guy's gimmick or it is to further a storyline, I'm fine with it. Even Mick Foley, for that matter, he put a freaking sock on his hand.
Yes, but he was using a mandible claw on that sock.
Yeah.
If you wrap your ding dong in barbed wire and then slap some guy in the face with it, then I could buy it.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it's his gimmick. That is what he's not to be taken seriously. That's where you're just being too much of a mark. Is you're not enjoying it for what it is. You just don't like Joey Ryan. You didn't like Joey Ryan before he even started doing this. So that's why you hate it so much.
Yeah, I didn't like him.
I know you didn't.
I didn't like him in Impact either when he did the.
And I
a few years back.
Yeah, I loved his gimmick, and that's not why I say this is okay because, like I said, it's entertainment. If it's something that's totally not getting over, then yeah, okay, it needs to go. But he's got it over. Like people show up to these shows to see him do that pecker flip. I don't know what he calls it, but
Just pecker flips.
yeah, I don't know. That's just you. To a point, things need to be logical, but if that is part of your gimmick and part of your shtick, then you have to suspend disbelief.
I guess we're gonna agree to disagree.
And we're gonna have to. Because I'm all about logic, especially in storylines. Like something has to make sense to me. I hate it when things don't make sense.
I would just like to see Scott Steiner versus Joey Ryan sometime. Could somebody book that, please?
Or New Jack, like let him try to flip New Jack with his pecker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all I have for now. That ran over a little bit too.
Yeah.
I'll just edit this part out. Thanks for watching, guys. I know it's been a while since we've made a new vidcast.
Yeah, we've been kind of busy lately.
I'm all about making them.
You gotta work.
Yeah, I work too. I make time for family though. But anyways,
I was at your house the other day.
Yeah, whatever. First time in 2 months.
Should've.
We'll try to get back on it, making them more consistently. I'm still in the process of making my little side segments. I haven't got them edited together yet. But give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, comment. Please share these videos, subscribe to them. Let's get us up to 100 views on one of these. That would be phenomenal. I think one of them's at 80 views, 82 views or something.
I thought you were going to say 8.
No, we're at, some of them, I think a couple of them only have 8, but we're at like 80-something. I think it's on the James Dillinger interview. It really helps if you guys share these because it gets them out, lets other people view us. We have one on aliens and Bigfoot. We don't just talk wrestling, guys.
Yeah.
We plan on doing one on conspiracy theories. We could go hours on that, so we'll probably divide it up. We do have an interview coming up with Benjamin Brody of IWE. Hopefully 2 weeks from now, we'll be interviewing him. We'll have that up. So, yeah, like, share, subscribe. Super awesome wrestling show. Got the doc here. Once again, SE Rocks. We'll see you guys next time.